and welcome to TrishRockTV Interviews with people on purpose and loving life. This is week 11 and we're May 11th as well. It's all the 11s of the Enlightened Changemakers Series. And tonight we have the amazing Rebecca Gibson joining us. Rebecca was born in Sydney, Australia, to left brain baby boomers who did not like to acknowledge her gifts as a psychic medium. A number of traumas led Rebecca to become a mental health professional, working in some of Australia's most violent prisons with serial killers, murderers, and sex offenders in an effort to help heal people who society have locked away to contain their dangerous behaviours. Rebecca now focuses on healing those wanting to step into their greatness through living a life serving love and their soul's purpose. As an alchemist, guiding others to create gold in their life through transformation, Rebecca's skills as both a psychic medium with a career in mental health, she is an authoritative expert on drama addiction, spiritual and mental health, and her passionate area of focus, empaths and narcissists. Rebecca's lived experience working in maximum security prisons and mental health facilities, married with her health struggles and past traumas, have given her amazing insights and wisdom that she shares through workshops, books, keynote speaking, and her divine spiritual work with her clients. So we're here tonight. We're going to be discussing the importance of being soul-led in today's earth, even when it all goes against you, even like tonight when my computer just died, and when you've been taught and no matter what you've been taught in life and business. So, Rebecca, welcome.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Good, really good. So I'll just actually make sure. I'm just going to double check. I don't normally do this in the middle of the show, but
that's all right.
I'm just going to. We've had some, a few little spiritual experiences here tonight. I'm just going to make sure. Yes, we are live. Perfect. All right, it's such an honour to have you here, and you're such an amazing.
Look at us, get to chat finally.
You're such an amazing psychic medium and channel, and so many other things that you do. Where did it all start for you, Rebecca? I mean, you've had some pretty hardcore jobs that definitely weren't in the psychic field. Did it start for you before that? Birth, yeah.
Yeah, from this human. So I was born dead. And you know what? This is my 45th year.
Yeah.
And it's taken until this year for my mum to tell me the truth of my birth. So I had known for a long time that, my mother has taught me so much about narcissists. And I have learned so much having a narcissistic parent about being an empath. But it's taken her until this year for her to really talk about the truth of my bringing into the world. So I always knew that it was a traumatic birth and for her, and that I was born dead and had to be resuscitated. And she kind of never really expanded upon that, other than I was born at St. Margaret's Hospital in Darlinghurst, and it was run by nuns, and she wasn't Catholic, and my dad was Catholic, and there was all this kind of like Catholic trauma because I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And she kind of didn't really explain much to me, which hindered our relationship. I'm all for being completely truthful with your kids now, because she never explained to me what happened. All she would show me was the horrid cesarean scar, and being someone in the medical professional, like this cesarean scar, instead of this little neat ones that we have along our pubic bone now, hers is from navel to vagina, but because it was an emergency cesarean, they started cutting halfway down and then halfway up, and it didn't match, so there's this like crossover. And her being very much in that narcissistic, detached mode from self was,
Yeah.
look what she did to me. And so it was a hindered relationship right from the beginning. But this year she explained to me, I'd always known that I was born dead. I was due August 1st, was born September 4.
Oh, okay.
And she just explained to me, you had to be revived. And that was it. And so this year I get the full story where her water had broke in August, and she doesn't dilate. And so by the time my heart had stopped a month later in a dry sac and her very sick and unwell with infection, they revived me. And then she says to me, she always said to me, because I've been psychic right from the beginning, keep it to yourself, be quiet, don't talk about it, there's something wrong with you, like just shut up about it kind of thing. She explained to me, I knew that there was something different about you, and I knew that you were psychic, and I didn't want you to be hindered through life, so I kept it quiet. But when you were revived, so was I. I died during that childbirth, and both of us were revived at the same time. And she said, I remember, and this is like the atheist among atheists, like when you're dead, you're worm food. There is no other. She said to me, I watched my daughter play, when you were born, it was because your heart stopped. It was an emergency C-section. And she said, we both died. And I can remember going down a spiral. She said, it's not like normal tunnels you hear about. It was a spiral of light. And as we went down a spiral of light, your adult form came to me and said, now is not the time. We have to go back. And we were revived at the same time. But it's taken her until my 45th year for her to say that. And I'm like, oh, now everything of my entire life makes sense.
Maybe this is the time that you needed to know. Maybe if you had have known, I mean, everything's always in perfect timing, isn't it? So
I would never have gone down the career that I'd gone down if I had known that before.
Yeah.
Because I picked a career that was against everything that I knew of myself, trying to please her and make her happy and fit into the egoic model of what humanity was supposed to be, asleep.
Yeah, and a couple of those jobs that you had were real, let's kind of control the people that are down kind of jobs, really, weren't they? They're very, they're very different industry to doing medium work.
I'm still in it.
Are you? Yeah.
Yep. I'm still in it. I'm still doing both. I'm graduating out of one and full-time into the other. I don't want to go against the medical model for psychiatry, but I want to eventually be able to blend the truth of consciousness in with the current model of psychiatry for them to be able to see the evolution of mental health rather than it being one or the other.
Maybe you're going to be one of the conduits that brings the etheric into the physical practices and to start actually using them together, because
it's a hard gig.
It is a really hard gig, but I mean, medicine needs to go that way, and we really need to be blending both together because both are real and both exist, and we are really
holistic health.
Yeah,
mind, body, soul.
Yeah,
and the thing about the medical model and the mental health being part of the medical model, they forget about the soul. I mean, it's not even that they forget about the soul. Most practitioners don't even realize that we are soul. They don't embody mind, body, spirit. It's not a trilogy. It's pyramids are powerful for a reason.
Yeah,
mind, body, and soul. That's who we are, and we have been immersed and indoctrinated our entire lives into this medical model that doesn't consider soul to be part of holistic health. And so a lot of us now are awakening, using our voices, using our experience, trying to educate and expand beyond just mind and body. And even the way we talk about subconsciousness, nobody talks about subconsciousness in terms of being the body. They think it's like these dark recesses of the mind. It's not, it's your body. Trillions of cells with their own little intelligence system make up this physical form that is us. And even if our ego and our brain was to die, as long as our heart keeps pumping because it's attached into source energy, the trillions of cells that make up this body will continue doing the thing that they need to do.
Yeah, and the things that they've been memorized to do, programmed to do through all of that.
Your body will continue to live and regenerate.
Yes.
If it's helped along, obviously, by medical science, but your brain can be dead, your consciousness can be no longer attached to your physical form, and yet it will continue to thrive, survive, renew, and do what it needs to do.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And it's just so interesting that all of the science is kind of catching up, because a lot of the doctors in the medical profession need the proof of the science, and it's starting to catch up and meld. Rebecca, how do you go? I know that your psychic and your channeling and your light language is very strong for you. How do you go in that field when you are at work there, kind of not doing that? Do you have to shut it down? Do you have to not bring it in?
So when I moved into prison systems, I shut it down. I cannot. I can remember walking in, and the energy and the negativity and the super dense fear frequency was so huge. I had to shut down my communication, and I mean, it was maladaptive behavior to shut it down. It was a lot of addiction type, like shopping, or it was addicted to this or that. And as I've become older, it was more substance based than it was when I was younger. It wasn't good. And so my body started to feel the effect, and I would go through periods of massive, huge obesity. At my heaviest, I was 148 kilos, and then I would go down to 70, and then I would like bloom back up again into the 100. And this is what would like go on for ages.
Wow.
And my physical really, like, I've lost a kidney at 17. I've lost my stomach in 2016. I've had I'm up to my 14th surgery.
Wow.
Like lots of different things. So my body really takes the toll of me trying to shut down my psychic abilities, which we all have, but obviously mine have been tuned in because of all these near-death experiences that I've experienced.
Absolutely. Well,
and so
you really are shutting down more than half of how you operate.
Everything. Shutting it down and then pretending like that part of me doesn't exist. Because I'm working in, educated in, being paid by a medical model that does not encompass the full holistic health experience of a human, just aspects of. And so I really shut it down. And the more I would do that, the sicker that I would become. And then the more that I would do that, the stranger my life experiences and my big traumas would become, because I'd obviously had soul contracted. Should I shut down at this stage? Let me experience this trauma and wake me up again.
Yeah.
My life's been traumatic.
Do you think that now that you're aware of doing all that things will change? Like, will you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no way in a million years I would have come out as a psychic medium.
Yeah.
Let alone start a business and start putting myself all over social media. I have brought myself up in a world of income and education where put me in jails, which was 10 years, male maximum security prison.
Yes.
Don't speak about yourself.
Yeah.
Don't mention anything about yourself.
I can't even imagine.
This would be the programming. Don't talk about yourself. Don't mention yourself.
Yeah.
Don't wear jewelry. don't give them any signs of anything. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And so I would have periods where I would be stalked by inmates who would get out and stuff because of the nature of my job. And then I would completely shut down and I would go so weird and paranoid and I wouldn't want to deal with anybody.
Yeah.
And so I would shut it down more and more. So for me then to emerge on social media, like to even have a social media account is a huge deal. And so I moved into adult psychiatry out of prison. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have Facebook. Oh, no, I shut that down because of what I was playing for. For me to come out and say, I'm a psychic medium, I hear things, I see things, I know things, and now I speak in tongue.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so I know that colleagues are like watching this going, she's legit lost her shit.
Oh, but it's absolute time though, isn't it? And haven't you've kind of picked the perfect time. We're all shifting into our authenticity, really, into that higher vibrations. So
I didn't pick the perfect time. It was like totally channeled to me. It's like you need 2016 was my year of get your shit together, chick. This is what you're doing. No more resistance, no more fight against it, no more crap. This is what you're doing. It's time to wake everybody else up. It's not about you or your ego or your reputation. Just get over yourself and just start talking.
So do you think that you'll be able to, well, obviously that's the plan anyways, to do your beautiful spiritual work full time and really be out and helping?
So I started June last year. What I do, part of my contract is to be like super dramatic. And so last year I had gotten into 3 years of working full-time night shifts, parenting full-time, and then trying to grow my business full-time. It wasn't working. Things had gone to crap. And so one morning I got home after 3 night shifts in a row and I hadn't slept for 3 or 4 days, like no sleep. And my eyes, I couldn't even think straight. And my husband, actually, no word of a lie, I cooked him green curry tonight. In June, it was June 24th last year, I'd cooked him a green curry after not sleeping for 3 days. I got home from work and he was like whinging that I did so many night shifts in a row. And it was midday and I'd been waiting for him and my daughter to say, let's go do this, because they'd been whinging at me about working so much and not being present. And they were both on their devices and I just lost my temper. I'm like, I can't believe I was like, just cleaning up bodily fluids. What are you doing just on your phone and your iPad? I'm going to bed. And I went to get some leftovers of the green curry that I cooked him that he's eating right now. He's literally in the other room eating it. And I said, how was my green curry? And he said to me, the audacity, he said to me, it's not your best. I lost it. I lost it. I'm like, I need a break. Like, you don't even understand. I need a break. I'm like busting my gut trying to live in 2 worlds and run this household and blah, blah, blah. Get out of my house. Like, I'm not getting out of this house. You get out of this house. I'm like, fine then. I'll leave. And I walked out the front door and my foot spontaneously broke.
Oh,
like, literally, my foot broke. And I ended up on crutches for 6 months.
Oh, dear.
And now I'm a foot full of metal. It was June 24th last year that my foot broke. I haven't been back to the hospital since. And I've been working full-time in my business ever since.
Wonderful. So do you think you'll go back to the nursing, or is that it? Are you going to take this massive hint?
My ego is still so attached to that.
Yeah.
Especially now during COVID, I'm a nurse. Like 25 years I've been nursing. I'm like, I've been shouting from the rooftops. We freaking do so much, and you guys have no idea the crap that we go through for the ridiculous money that we get paid.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm in it, and COVID hits, and I'm like, just want to run into the fire. I just want to save all these lives and tell everybody you had no idea. And now I'm just like in the comfort of my own home every day, earning more money than what I would have got paid nursing, having wonderful conversations with people. There's a massive pit of guilt in me right now, just like, do I go running back into the fire and get paid crap, or do I heal from a higher level?
But, you know, it's not even about the money, though, Rebecca. I mean, you're really needed in the spiritual world, too. I know you're saying that there's people needing the nurses. There are people needing the energy workers. So it's just an important, vital role. And, you know, I just think you've got international clients, and you really do serve a massive audience. And
when you're a nurse, though, it's so part of your identity. It's like people ask you, what do you do? And we never say we do nursing. I'm a nurse. I started in 1995. Like, I'm a nurse. I save lives. I have legit had like hearts pumping under my hands, or stop people from killing themselves, or like, you know, held my hands on gunshot wounds, or stood on people's arms, because it's part of your identity, and your ego gets so entrenched in that role. And it's because it's a really difficult job. It's such a hard job, and it has to become part of your identity. It has to become part of your ego. So then to let it go and go polar opposite from psychiatry into psychic, it's been such a struggle for me. It's such a struggle. So I don't know if I'm ready to give up yet, because I want to make way in the consciousness of health, that health is holistic. It doesn't have to just encompass mental health or physical health, that your soul health is so important.
Yeah, but I guess to even do that, you would have to let go of being a nurse, being a medium. You are now a conduit to a better system. So you would still have to let go of those identities and become the new. But, you know, I kind of feel, because I work with people, helping them move into new identities, and we kind of divorce the old person, and it's not as if you're letting go of that part of you. You know, you've still got that in your heart. You're just not actually physically working. So, you know, by the sounds of it, Spirit's not going to let you stray from this course.
No, let me tell you, I did not want to pick this course. I didn't even want to tell anybody that I was psychic medium. And then in 2016, I went through this very odd, strange experience, and it forced me into telling everybody I'm a psychic medium, and this is now what I've signed up to do. I did not want to. My ego was screaming from the rooftops, don't tell anyone, you're going to look like an absolute mad idiot.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and then all the old memories have been burnt and killed and silenced and all the rest of it. And especially you've grown up in a family that already did that to you. So, yeah. So, Rebecca, with your channeling and your light language, has that always been a part of you as well, or is that something that's kind of grown and emerged from you in the past little while?
Yes, the light language especially. So I'm a singer.
Yeah.
And I had let go of, I went through this spiritual trauma. I now look at it as a spiritual trauma. At the time, I'm like, what's wrong with my voice? I lost my voice for 6 months. And because my job was to talk to people all day in jails, I had to force myself to start speaking. So I started speaking with my false vocal cords. And I didn't even know that we had false and true vocal cords. I had no idea.
I didn't know either.
So this is very profound. I rocked up at this ENT, ears, nose, throat specialist, because I wanted to go back to singing. And all that came out of me was this hoarse whisper. And and it'd been going on for months. And he gets the camera down there, has a look around. He said, oh, your true vocal cords aren't working anymore. You're speaking with your false ones. And the only reason why you're speaking with your false ones is because you're a singer and you've been using your falsetto. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So we have our true vocal cords that we speak with all the time.
Right.
We have a set of vocal cords above them that eons ago were used to close over and keep our oxygen supply should we be immersed in water.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's very Atlantean. And
a survival mechanism.
So they would close over. And so through evolution, humans have not needed them anymore. And if you're a singer, then you swap. Like if you've watched The Voice or like Idol or whatever, you would hear people, oh, your falsetto is amazing. And so you're switching from your true vocal cords up into your false vocal cords, and then you get this head breathy sound.
Wow.
And because I'd been singing, I had forced my false vocal cords to be the main conduit for my speech. And so I'd gone and they've like cleaned it off, and I still couldn't speak properly. And then they said it's psychological. You need to go to a speech pathologist and have this 8-month program. This speech pathologist telling me you need to sit in the bathroom, on the toilet, in the quiet, and listen to the air move past your false vocal cords into your true vocal cords. And I was so grounded in ego working in the jail. I'm like, what is this chick talking about? This is crazy. I remember thinking she's lost the plot. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it up. And I just started forcing myself to speak with my true vocal cords. Now I look back at it thinking, how interesting that is our true vocal cords and our false vocal cords, and which one do you use? So I started exercising the both, and then I gave up singing for a while, and then I went back to singing after I had my daughter to find myself again. And then through singing lessons, I was doing shadow alchemy at the same time, like trying to like move through all the crap parts about myself I can't stand and emerge a better person. And it really worked through singing. The more I focused on my throat chakra and speaking through my throat chakra from my heart chakra, because I wanted to sing because it changes my pitch. The more I did that, I started unknowingly to me at first, it just started happening. I wasn't trying to. I started voice channeling goddesses because I was working a lot with goddesses. I would find myself in embarrassing situations like voice channeling Isis or Bethesda or Hackle when my ego kind of like, I'm so tired from all these night shifts and my vocal cords just doing their thing. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So I stopped singing lessons. I stopped voice channeling. I stopped all of it. And then when my foot broke, I'm like, I need to go back to singing lessons. It doesn't matter now if I start rogue voice channeling goddesses because I'm not at work. Because the worst thing that I could do during a night shift in the cycle was start voice channeling a goddess.
Oh, yeah.
So I just shut my shut my shit down. So when my foot broke, I'm like, okay, I'm going back to singing lessons. So I went back to singing lessons, and every day I'm like really focusing on my heart and my throat, and then the light language just started. And I can remember one morning, it was really early in the morning, and it's flying out of my mouth 100 miles an hour, and my husband walks in and is just like,
what the?
And because I was listening to like binaural beat music. And I couldn't hear anything. And so I didn't realize what was coming out of my mouth. I couldn't hear it. And I've turned around and his face is just like, oh, what is going on? And I went to speak to him in English and it came out light language. And my daughter, who's 6, came down and she went to say something to me. And then it came out light language. And then it just has gone on. I now, in my head, I've responded to her. I'm better at it now. I've got more control over it. But in the beginning of me trying to get control over it, she would speak to me in English. In my head, I'm answering her in English, but what was coming out was light language. It's like, Mom, It's so embarrassing. Why can't you just be like other mums? Like, what are you even talking about? But now sometimes when I speak to her, she's like, all right, I'll go and do this. Okay, I'm sorry. And she understands what I'm saying to her.
Oh,
It's
she
so good.
understands the language now, because with light language, you do end up having a few of the same guides or the energies coming through, don't you? So you get to recognize who the voice is from.
Thankfully, there's a group on Facebook called Keeper of the Codes. I got in there and it's like a very large group. I was watching for a while and I was waiting because most people like draw on codes. And I was waiting for someone to speak light language because, I mean, my ego thinks it's hideous. My ego's like, yeah, you've cracked. That's it. That's the end of you. There's no coming back from that. And my soul just keeps speaking. And so one day I posted a live of my light language in this particular group. And one of the admins, whose name's also Rebecca, she messaged me privately. And she and I, that's all we speak to now. We only speak to each other in light language. There's hardly any English that comes out, and we understand perfectly.
Wow.
We understand each other's emotions. We understand what each other is going through, thinking, and there's like very, very limited English. Most of it's light language. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not so crazy.
No, you found your community.
Goodness. And then I found them all on YouTube. They're everywhere. And there's something so comforting in someone speaking the way that I speak because I get it. My ego doesn't understand a word that's coming out, but my soul understands every sound.
And it is a vibration. I was first introduced to light language many years ago, and I can't do it myself, and I don't understand it, but I understand the energy of it and how it works, and I love it. I'm really drawn to it. I absolutely love it. So before Rebecca and I started here, we were just kind of looking at my little spirit guide here, and Rebecca just started talking to it, and it doesn't kind of shock me, and I'm just like, oh, that's interesting, having a little chat to my spirit guide.
It's so strong. So today I did a reading on a 17-year-old, and her mother is a long-term client of mine. I thought that she would benefit from seeing me because I have a long ongoing group program at the moment for 2020 because I knew what was coming. And so I brought all these women into this long 14-month program. And I did an extra live of light language from Isis during the week. And her daughter watched it and burst into tears and said, Mum, like, who is this person? Like, I don't understand what she's saying, but I can feel it. And so she had a reading with me today. But I even did a building clearing last week on Friday. I've never done energy clearings on the entire buildings. It took me an hour, and I just light language all over the place.
It's really light language. It's really important work that you're doing, and I for one am glad that you've come out of the closet.
When humanity, like the majority of humanity, start to understand what you're saying, and light language becomes part of, people like, oh, English is predominant, and then Cantonese is predominant, and Spanish, which is like people like, well, light language is like 33% of the population speak light language.
Yeah, it would be amazing. It's
not in our lifetime, but I mean, how cool is that?
Well, absolutely, and people will understand what it means telepathically anyway by that point. So yeah, I think that's amazing, and it's so healing. Yeah, it's so.
Did you ever think in your lifetime you'd be sitting down having a conversation like this publicly on the internet?
It's so interesting, isn't it? It's just so interesting where our lives, when we get out of our own way, our lives take us. So, Rebecca, so you've got your group, you've also got your website, which is probably the best place for people to go. They can book all their sessions with you. They can inquire about what you do. I've got in the description here for everybody, I've got your website, your Facebook page, and your email. Is that the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Yeah, Facebook's probably the best because I like to engage organically.
Yes.
Like, I don't even remember last time I touched my website because it's not organic to me. I really like to engage with people. I want to have like proper conversations. That very much comes from my career. I don't want to sit down and read about a person. I want to like talk to a person and feel their energy, and I want them to be able to feel my energy and feel whether or not we mesh. So Facebook is the best.
Probably the best
for me.
Okay, beautiful.
I'm not on Instagram a lot, and Twitter I just find vicious.
Twitter's an unknown entity that I still can't get my head around. Yeah,
I get on there every now and then, and I get a little bit vicious. Twitter's ego land. So my whole Twitter is about makeup.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, would you like to do you have any message or any coding that is coming through that you'd like to finish up with today? Can
I speak in light language because it's desperate to come out of me?
Yes, please do.
All right. So, oh my goodness, there's probably people watching that have never heard it before.
Yeah.
The light language is really important to not listen with your ego, not listen with your ears. Your ego, your brain is gonna want to say, "This is crazy pants."
Yeah.
Don't listen. This chick is like lost the plot. But your heart, so your soul communicates through your heart, and that's scientific now.
Yes.
And so your whole communicates through your heart, and so your heart needs to be able to feel into the frequency of light language, because everything's sound waves and everything's frequency. So light language is a frequency that I'm giving you that your ego is not going to want to listen to, and your ego is going to want to tell you to run a mile and not pay attention, and your soul is going to be like, shush up, just shush and mush right now, just listen to what's being said. So
beautiful.
Before it comes flying out of me,
yeah.
If everybody just like listens into the heart, if you just put your hands over your heart and just like tune into your heart beating and tune into your heart is the source of energy that keeps your entire system alive, mind, body, soul. Your heart is the most intelligent and most important organ of your body. And then just be ready to receive. And when your mind wants to tell you this is crazy town, just listen with your heart. Ishi tutua mnikila katutua mnakutushni parawakila ke irakumatua marakuakila ke tutua mnikiaka. Ishu tutu ura ra maruku tutumrakila kiaki. Ishnotara ra matutura makuri kiaki la kiaka. Urakma ushnito tushno tu uruku tutumanikiliki. Imrakishne enatutuamru ukurokani akulikiraki. Irakututu rukma ma aishniaki. Irakututura maruk ukuru. Ishna ina urukan ma akru apirakrika. Urakututu rumututushniki. Irakututu imawaku irakamati lakare amara irakandutu na marawaku urakatutuaki. Ishno ora mara ura uaki. Era akina o ora mana ikotutua marawuka. Ishno ora makilati. Ishne era creato arakani marawa akile ketutara makuaki. Ishno tuana maru ura irakemotu akino urakine kiake. Ishno tuturu kututushni. Ishne ekra urama iaki eraku uaki. Uma ia akurama ishne iaki na tutuaki la kiaka. ura maruaki isne iturumarku maruaki na kila iaki isna iato tu manishi rakamoto ramarawaki no keaka marutura makua imurakusnia imatua mele iakna anikawurikisne kiaki waka.
Thank you. Thank
Can you
you.
hear all that interference? Is that just me? Can you hear all that?
I didn't hear any interference, no.
Oh my God, it's just mine then.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think there'll be a lot of people listening to this really feeling it. The people who have seen it before and can allow it in, and perhaps some people who've heard it for the first time now and experienced it will now look you up and find out more. And
very much about the message, though, is to integrate your heart Merkaba. That was very much about activating people's nerves.
Okay.
And for them to understand that your heart center is the absolute most potent energy that you have. It is mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a Merkaba is, look it up. This is like activating in there. And that was a Merkaba activation.
Oh, so powerful, and just what humanity needs right now to get all of that activated.
Don't we? Don't we?
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking with you, and I know that
you've gone this quick.
I know, right? I know. So, and I know that you've really opened up some information here for people that will change the way they see things and feel things, and you've opened up some hearts, which is lovely. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, you're one of the Enlightened Changemakers as well. And so you can find Rebecca in the Holistic Bliss magazine. Which has a beautiful ad there.
Isn't it a cool magazine?
It's
for free, everyone. It's free.
It's free. It's online.
Lockers full of stuff for free.
Yeah, and it's got the most amazing people. It's got the most amazing people in it, and you can read it online or get the app and read it for free. It's really fascinating. Really great articles, really great people, and lots of really awesome recipes.
Yes, isn't that great? For free. It blows my mind that magazine's for free.
I know. It's really helping humanity.
There's so much in it. It's chocolates.
It is absolutely. So I'll have the links for that as well if you guys want to download that. But thank you so much again, Rebecca, and please connect with Rebecca. All of her links are there, and you won't look back.
It was good to see you.
Oh, thank you, and thank you everybody for watching tonight. I look forward to seeing you next week on TrishRockTV.